Welcome, everybody, to Off the Cuff. I am Adam Banks. Thank you for listening to the show, coming at you live from the Belmont studio here in Lexington, Kentucky. Amber is in the studio. Amber, it's been quite a while. How you doing?
I am doing good. Started school back.
School has started back officially. You can tell by the traffic.
You can tell by the traffic and the amount of
people that are in Walmart.
The people in Walmart and the amount
shopping.
of teenage girls lined up to get into Ulta.
What is Ulta?
It's like, so Ulta, Sephora are like the makeup stores.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really, I didn't expect Ulta to be a store that is popular for back to school.
The girls were lined out the door. I went about a week ago, and that was probably the most action I'd seen there in a while.
Yeah, so everybody is back in school. All the public schools are back. High school, grade school, middle school, college. I think every college has started back now.
Every college is back now. I think BCTC started 1 week. Eastern started the next. And then I believe UK started about the middle of this week.
Yeah.
So.
And you started school.
I started school.
And you did something pretty outside of the box for your age.
I did something pretty outside the box for, I think, me in general.
Yeah.
Anybody who knows me knows it was probably not my normal thing I would do.
But it's so you, though. When you told me you were doing this, when you called me the other day and you told me what you were doing, and you dropped that news on me, I think my first question was, do you really want to do that?
And actually it was. It was your first question.
Yeah, but I wasn't like knocking. I was just like, are you sure? Because like it kind of just... But then I thought about it. I was like, that is so Amber. And then I thought about how great it could become for me, and I loved it.
And you were more excited, I think, for yourself
for myself,
than what you were for me.
It was. So tell everybody what it was you wanted to do. Or you did do.
I did do, actually. Yes. So I signed up for fall recruitment for, I'm going to say this wrong, Panalytic recruitment. Sororities.
To join a sorority.
So I sat in a smaller auditorium we have on EKU's campus Wednesday night. I was so nervous walking over.
Yeah.
Because it was about a 1.5 mile walk from my car.
And you never did do this when you were in college.
I did not do this when I was actually, you know what? Me and Ashley went one time and sat through a meeting with a chapter at Murray State, but my parents said hell no when I asked if they would financially help me pay my dues.
Yeah.
And they said no.
And you were 18 traditional back then.
I was 18 traditional. Okay. I don't remember any of it. I'm sure we probably done some of the same stuff we done over this last week, but I don't remember any of it.
So at age 30, what made you want to go join a sorority?
And they asked me that a lot. They were like, what's your reasoning for coming through recruitment? And, of course, 50% is, I want to meet, I wanted to meet new people.
Yes.
Get more involved on campus, because I'm there, a significant amount of time now.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing, that I was kind of like, okay, this is something I need to do, is because, I've worked in the real world, and that's legit what I had to refer to it as, was the real world.
You had something to actually bring to the table.
I did. And that was, I've worked in groups of women, and, I love that, you're a man and I'm a woman, because we can communicate. If we were two women, we would probably fight 89% of the time.
Isn't that true?
As women, we don't know how to communicate.
Yeah.
We're either just super bitchy or super passive with each other.
Why?
I wish I could tell you. I don't know. That's what I wanted. That was my big driving factor. As I said, I want to know how to, communicate with other women. And what better way than joining a group full of women.
Yeah, so what shocked me about it, and what made me say, are you sure you want to do that? Now that everybody knows what it is. The reason I asked that question is because I was like, I know how you are around immature little girls. And I was like, if you join this, you're going to be around 18, 19, 20, 21, and at most 22-year-olds. How do you feel about that? I mean, could you tell the age difference?
So I only told about 5 people I was doing this. You, my husband included, and then 3 other of my friends. But okay, how do I want to say this? I tell a lot of one-liner jokes. That's kind of like my whole thing. I love to use puns when I possibly can.
Yeah.
So this girl said something, she was talking about, she doesn't go to bed till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I said, hell no. I said, 10:30 around my house, I'm shutting the studio down. and it's a P. Diddy quote.
Right.
P. Diddy was going to shut the studio down.
Yeah.
And this girl kind of she stopped and she looked at me mouth open huh? And I was like, P. Diddy. And she's like, who?
Right.
And I was like, fuck it. Like, I literally walked away. I was like, no. I can't have
There
this.
was a lot of things that you would talk about that you would make reference to or TV shows, and they didn't know what it was.
They did not know. And one of the biggest absolute things that I was like, you got to be kidding me, is, during, this process, one of the girls asked me, what's your favorite show? Well, honey, I'm 30. I got a lot of them. I've been alive a long time.
Yeah, and you got more downtime. You can watch a little more TV.
Be a little more specific. She said, okay, well, what'd you watch last night? Okay, well, I'd watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians, because everybody knows we love the Kardashians.
Right.
And then I had watched The Hills.
Yeah.
The Hills.
Great show back in the mid-2000s.
It's an amazing show.
Yeah.
And the girl kind of looked at me, and she's like, oh, I don't know what that is. And I was like, Laguna Beach. Mm-hmm. And she kind of looked at, very dumbly looked at me like I was speaking I was speaking a Greek language.
It's a different generation.
It was definitely a different generation.
Yes.
I even, named off, Lauren Conrad.
Yeah.
Kristen Cavallari.
Didn't know who it was.
No.
Didn't know who it was.
No.
Well, that's funny that you mentioned those names, because The Hills did an advertisement at the VMAs that they were making a comeback.
They are making a comeback. I kind of knew something was going on because I absolutely love following Spencer Pratt.
Yeah, Spencer Pratt is hilarious.
He is, I feel like everybody has a friend just like him that you don't know whether or not they really are a jackass, or they're just a jackass 25% of the time.
But no matter what,
he's funny.
He's funny, and he makes you want to keep watching.
He does.
He's entertaining.
He's very entertaining. So I did see a lot of stuff on social media from him and Heidi.
It's a travesty that they're not on TV. Both of them are entertaining. Heidi and Spencer. Heidi went out and changed her whole look. Who does that?
And not just a little, but a lot. I'm watching this first season of the, I watched a couple episodes of the first season, and I didn't even recognize her at first. I was like, holy shit. Who is that? And then it was
she completely changed.
She did. She completely changed, and she grew out of, she took that massive plunge from being Elsie's friend, because that's how they used to coin her.
Yeah.
When she was on Laguna Beach one time.
Yeah.
It was Heidi, Elsie's friend.
Yeah.
She went from being,
this,
Joe Blow to, being one of the main stars on the show.
And now it doesn't tag her as that, it just tags her as Heidi.
So she ain't...
Because everybody knows who it is.
She ain't Lauren's friend no more.
No, and she's been on more episodes than...
She actually branched out. Her and Spencer done quite a few things.
Yeah.
I think they done, Celebrity Apprentice.
I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
Yeah, they went on and done quite a few things. Oprah, did they do Oprah?
They probably did do Oprah. They did this thing called, it was called Aftershock, and it talked about their downfall from reality TV and how they had to downsize and how they lost their millions by wasting it on stuff. That was a good little special they did on them. So yeah, The Hills are coming back. Are you excited for it?
I am so excited for it.
You gonna watch it?
I'm gonna watch every episode. We are gonna watch every episode.
It's gonna be fun, yeah.
It's gonna be, I'm hoping that it kind of gives me back those feels that I used to get when I watched Laguna Beach.
It's not going to put Lauren on there, though. Lauren's not going to come back.
I'm okay with that.
Are you?
Because I know she's in a much better place. She kind of, on Instagram, she posted a little bit, on her story, and, was just kind of thank you everybody for asking, but, I'm at a different point in my life. And she is. She's at a different point in her life.
Yeah. Yeah, she is. And, so The Hills are coming back. Reboot City here. Everything's coming back. Everything's rebooted.
I think 4 out of the 4 girls have now confirmed.
Wow.
We've got Heidi Pratt. Mm-hmm. We've got Audrina Patridge.
Yeah.
We've got Stephanie Pratt.
Brody.
He's not one of the girls.
Yeah, but Brody confirmed.
Well, he did. Okay, and then Whitney Pord.
Yes.
I'm excited to have Whitney back. I know
she's an original.
She's an original. She was not a fan favorite, but she was not a favorite.
Really?
She was. I enjoyed Whitney.
Yeah.
I feel like she.
So you watched The City?
I did watch The City. I did.
You watched The City?
I did watch The City.
Did you watch Audrina?
No.
You knew she had that, didn't you?
I'm not a friend. I'm not a fan.
I can't stand her.
The only thing I liked
horrible.
watching about Audrina was I got obsessed with the bling ring. Remember that group of kids that went through Hollywood, stealing?
Yeah.
And they stole from her. I got obsessed with that.
I like Justin Bobby because Justin Bobby, they interviewed him the other day because he confirmed to sign on with the reboot.
I did see that.
They asked him there, they said, Justin, do you think Lauren and Kristen not coming back is going to affect the show. He said, hell no. He says, I'm glad that they're not. He says, because what we got right here is good energy, good vibes. And he says, when you have negative people around, it's not good. So he basically trashed them, said he's glad they're not coming back.
Well,
and it's a slap in the face kind of to Lauren. She created the show.
She did. She created the show. I mean, she was the main star of Laguna Beach.
Isn't it funny that she does not care? Like, she does not want it to be a part of it.
She absolutely does not want anything to do with it.
Nothing.
Like, I have never seen someone want to shy away so much from what made them famous. Like, I've heard of, actors who want to not be typecast and things like that.
She says she's never watched the episodes. She's never went back and watched the episodes.
I mean, I guess I would be singing a different song if that were me.
Yeah.
And I had my life.
I don't know.
Publicized.
I know I would go back and watch it. I just know I would. And you would, especially like if we were just hanging out one night. Let's just watch what we did 10 years ago. Because we pull out your books and stuff.
We do pull out.
So
your
like
books.
if we had our time like at Beaver recorded in grade school,
and we could physically quote some of the things that we said,
and we'll physically like show. Like if all that was documented.
Oh my jeez! If all that was documented, we'd have a lot of teachers that would probably not be teachers anymore.
Probably not. Our teachers, man.
I don't know. When I think about our teachers, I feel like I always smile a little bit when I think about.
We always get on the topic about back home. And I want to ask you if you saw this news story that happened 2 days ago. On Thursday at 6 o'clock, it broke on WYMT Mountain News. Steve Hensley. You know who Steve Hensley is?
We both know I love Steve Hensley.
You do love Steve. Let's get Steve on the show.
I would love if Steve Hensley would come on this show.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
That would be amazing.
To talk about. On August the 23rd, that's a Thursday at 6 p.m., WYMT Mountain News released a story about a robbery that took place in Floyd County. And the perpetrator broke into a man's house by the name of Mason Tackett. And Mason was interviewed by WYMT, and it turns out that Mason is a pretty colorful guy. I want you to take a listen to the news story put up just a couple days ago, less than 72 hours, by WYMT Mountain News, Mason Tackett. Take a listen.
Officials say meth is on the rise, and as a result, so is crime.
Must have been a bad batch around here because Floyd County's went crazy in the last 4 days.
Neighbors notified Mason Tackett that his cousin, Philip Matthew Higgins, was seen carrying items from his house.
When I finally got down here to the house to look see what happened, the door was standing wide open. It looked like he was packing up for a yard sale when he come out.
And that is when he confronted Higgins.
He was lying, throwing his hands, saying stuff like, I didn't do it, you know how rogues do, and blaming on everybody else.
The confrontation took a dangerous turn once Tackett found items belonging to him.
He did pull a gun on me when I got back around the house because I guess he thought I was upset with him.
Items not normally the target of a would-be burglar.
Who steals a cheese grater? He's got the words Lysol. He stole an empty bottle of spray. What got me the most was my soap. He stole my soap. Who steals soap?
Philip Higgins is charged with receiving stolen property and being a convicted felon with a firearm. In Turkey Creek, Sean Allen, WYMT Mountain News.
So Sean Allen, I think, deserves a shout out as well. He did a great story. His seriousness behind his voice the whole time he was interviewing or talking about the story about Mason was great. Like everybody, it's amazing to me. Like so many people are watching these videos and saying, this is the funniest stuff I've ever seen. Yeah, it was funny. It was funny, but to a point. Like, dude, we know you want to be a stand-up comedian, obviously. You keep posting videos of you trying to be funny. So it just proves, that he's trying too hard. But what do you think of the video?
I had dealings with this particular gentleman when we were a lot younger. And I understand that, people say things when they are younger that might not always be reflective of the person they're going to grow up to be. I'm sure at some point in my life I have said something rude or out of the way or mean to someone, but never to the extent that this person took it. I just don't think he's a nice person. I am going to actively try to load my MSN Messenger to find some very crude messages he had sent about a friend that had passed away, that many listeners probably were friends with this exact same person. that just were very derogatory, were very demeaning, very disrespectful. And I think it shows who he is as a person and his character. And it very much saddens me to see that we have a lot of these same people who are friends with this person, support this person, give this person any of their revenue. If you want to donate or you want to support a cause for, teenagers who have passed away. Don't support someone who, made crude comments.
So you know this guy?
I met him through, we'll call this person Bugga, because we both know who Bugga is.
Yeah.
I met him through Bugga when we were much younger.
You truly met him through Bugga?
I met him one time at Bugga's grandmother's house.
Okay.
And then my friend that passed away, actually, now she told me they dated. He could sing a different song. Not really for sure how that could go. Bugga could chime in at some point in time and, clarify what the relationship status was of these two individuals. But no, I physically met him one time. I was probably 16. And then he sent those crude comments about a year later. And I have not thought about this rude ass again in my life until, unfortunately, he has blown up my social media feed, which I've actually stayed off of because I'm just not interested in seeing a very negative person get brought into light so heavily.
Now that we got that off our chest, move that along. But we will get Steve Hensley on the show. So not to end the podcast off on a negative note, but Senator John McCain, I think it's worth mentioning. He ran for president against Barack Obama, one of the most famous presidential elections of all time.
I voted for John McCain.
I voted for John McCain too. I did too.
Yep.
And he was very... there was a reason he got elected to the Senate like 6 times in Arizona. He was a senator in Arizona, but he died,
unfortunately,
from brain cancer at the age of 81. So, wanted to let everybody know about that. And
it's definitely worth a look. His daughter penned an open letter to the public. It's definitely worth a look if you would like to go check that out.
Just the beginning of that letter was powerful.
It was very powerful. It went
something like, "To my dearest father, who was, I was with him on his last day as he was with me on my first."
Yep. It was a very emotional letter that just shows the relationship between
a daughter
and her father.
So it was very good. I loved it. It was good. It was good stuff.
It was. And I do have to point it out that, Senator McCain, knew he had been sick for, I think, a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to say maybe years.
Couple years.
Yeah.
Really got bad over the last year.
But, he made some mention, I think, when he was making his end of life requests, and that was that he wanted to have President Barack Obama and President George Bush speak at his eulogy. He wanted them to give eulogies. But he did make one specific request, that President Donald Trump not be allowed.
So that's interesting. He really did not like Trump.
He didn't. He was very vocal about not endorsing, promoting, or even encouraging President Trump.
Yeah, he didn't want Trump at his eulogy, and it's interesting. He wanted Barack Obama there.
He wanted the person that beat him to be there.
Yeah, to give his eulogy. So it just shows the respect that he had for Barack.
Exactly.
And Barack had a lot of respect for McCain. They remained close throughout the rest of McCain's life after that election, but worth mentioning. But, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for listening to the show. Amber, it's always fun to have you on the show. Always fun to have you back in the studio. Haven't been back in the studio in a couple episodes.
Well, school, man. I took summer classes.
And almost joined a sorority.
Almost joined a sorority.
That really would have worked out for me.
I know.
Yeah.
Same.
I
mean, not for
the reasons.
Not for the same reason.
Not for the same reasons, but
who knows? Maybe I will do Spring Rush.
You should.
I'm not doing Spring Rush. This is a one-time only.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Adam Banks.
I'm Amber Turner.
And we will see you in the next episode.